Mr. Price here with the next edition of our Read Aloud. The book that we are reading currently is Because of Mr. Terupt, and we were introduced to Peter, who is the class clown, Jessica, who is the new girl, moved from California, Luke, who is the smart guy, Alexia, the queen bee, Danielle, the pushover, and Anna, the shy one. And if you remember correctly, this book is told as a perspective from each student. Every chapter changes the perspective, and sometimes we hear the same event as told from a different perspective. So I just wanted to keep that in mind. The chapters are titled after the characters, and then the book is divided up into sections based on months of the school year. And so right now we are moving on to October. And we begin with Peter. I never ever had something in school excite me before, but the plant unit we did with Mr. T had me fired up. We grew these bean plants from seeds, and once they got big enough, we started doing different tests with them. Variables, Mr. T called them. First, we stuffed the plants in boxes with just a little tiny hole on the side, and we wanted to see what the plants would do after a few days in the dark. Anna had a meltdown about it. I don't want to put mine in a box, she cried. Mr. T had to take her out into the hall to calm her down. I was kind of shocked. Usually she doesn't say anything. What a weirdo, I thought. It's no wonder she doesn't have any friends. It's a good thing Danielle was her partner. She's the patient kind. Anyone else would have been fuming. My partner was Lexi, which was fine. She let me do what I wanted. Next, we put the plants on their side to see how they would grow. I couldn't believe it. The plants bent and still grew up toward the ceiling. That was pretty cool. But the best part was what we got to do in the end. Mr. T let us feed our plant any concoction we wanted over the course of a week. There was just one rule. We couldn't use an ingredient that would spoil and stink up the classroom, like milk, or something that wasn't good for us to breathe, like gas. There were some pretty wild concoctions. David and Nick used salad dressing because, according to them, plants make salad, so the plant will like salad dressing. Brenda and Heather used orange juice mixed with ketchup and Pepto-Bismol. I don't know what they were thinking. Mine was the best, though. I brought in cat litter, used, soda, and a little maple syrup. I did my best to mix it together and feed it to my plant. Lexi wasn't real happy about my choice of ingredients. I didn't tell her I had peed in my soda bottle some too. Peter, you moron. This stuff's gonna kill our plant, she whined. Shut up. You never cared about the plant before, I said. Well, I care now, she said. Lexi, maple syrup comes from trees. I drink soda a lot, and I'm growing. And farmers put animal manure on their fields all the time. So zip it. It's gonna work. Our plant was dead in 2 days. Danielle and Anna did the best. Danielle used some natural ingredients her grandmother had taught her about, something the old-time farmers really did use. I guess. Danielle lives on a farm, so she had a big advantage. Her concoction worked big time. She and Anna were the only ones to come up with food the plant liked. Anna was all smiles until Lexi said, like, you're just lucky Danielle was your partner. She did everything. Then Lexi turned to me and added, even if she is fat. I don't think anyone else heard, but I laughed. I know I probably shouldn't have. Anna's smile disappeared and she stared at the floor. Poor old Luke sure tried. I think he put too much brain power in it, and he's got a lot of brain power. He's been the smartest kid in school since kindergarten. His partner was Jeffrey, but he never does anything. He just let Luke take charge. Maybe he should have helped. I've brought in a number of different ingredients, Luke said, and they'll interact perfectly because of the electron balance and resulting bond formations. He even said something about a periodic table or some crazy thing. Well, you're never going to believe this, but Luke mixed his junk together and it started smoking. The next thing we knew, the stupid fire alarm was going off. The whole school had to go outside and even the fire department showed up. It was great. Mr. T had to do some explaining, and after a while we were back inside, but Luke wasn't performing any more experiments for us. Man, things were just so much fun with Mr. T. And we're going to hear Luke's chapter today as well. We moved from cool math right into wicked science. The only thing I didn't like about our science unit was that we had to have partners. I prefer to do my projects alone, but Mr. Terupt teamed us up. We were working with plants, and he said we didn't have enough space for everyone to have their own. Jeffrey was my partner, which, believe it or not, worked out great because he let me do whatever I wanted. He didn't care. The only bad part was that he was always grumpy. $word. We studied phototropisms by observing how our plant grew toward light after we stuffed it in a box that only had a tiny hole in its side. Then we studied geotropism by observing how our plant grew toward the ceiling, even after we tipped the plant on its side for a few days. And then we were given the opportunity to study a variable on our own. Mr. Terupt told us to manipulate the plant's nourishment. Feed it whatever you want, he said. Make your own concoctions. Jeffrey left me alone. He hated school and everything about it. That day I hurried home and studied my periodic table. I had received a special chemistry set last Christmas. Hydrogen and oxygen make a special bond when they come together to form water, so I figured I should try to recreate that special bond with whatever molecular $word ingredients I chose. I looked through the chemicals in my set and picked out the ones that would result in the same type of electron balance that occurred in the hydrogen and oxygen bond. I took my ingredients to school and got ready to measure and mix. Jeffrey was slightly interested in this point. Mr. Terupt, on the other hand, appeared a little uneasy about the whole thing, but he never stopped me. Luke, sometimes when you mix chemicals, it can cause a reaction which then explodes. $word. I know, I said. Maybe we shouldn't mix these in the classroom without knowing what's going to happen, he said. It might not be safe. All these potions came from my chemistry set at home. My mom saw it. It's safe, I said, trying my best to convince Mr. Terupt. I didn't tell Mom or Mr. Terupt about the few ingredients I got from Dad's garage. I knew it would work. Hey guys, come and look at the stuff Luke's mixing together, Chris yelled. I felt everyone gather behind me as I began mixing my substances together in a bowl. But before I could feed my plant, something happened. First, the bowl started feeling warmer, then hot. The potion turned dark green, then gray. It started bubbling, first slowly, then rapidly. I knew this was bad. Back up. Everybody back up. Get away from it, Mr. Terupt ordered. Smoke started billowing from my concoction. Then the screech of the fire alarm pounded against my ears. The only other thing I heard was Peter laughing. "This is awesome!" he yelled. "Way to go, Lukester!" "Outside! Everybody outside!" Mr. Terupt ordered. I was done for. I was sure of it. Wrong again. Mr. Terupt spoke to Mrs. Williams and took the blame for everything. He even stood up to the fire marshal who always walks through the building after an unannounced fire alarm. The marshal wanted our $word posters taken off the hallway walls. He claimed they were a fire hazard. Jeffrey thought this confrontation was a big deal. "Did you see Terupt say no to that guy?" he said. "He refused to take our posters down." I said, and I saw flashbacks of smoke pouring out of the bowl. I knew I wasn't ever going to be a botanist. $word. At least Jeffrey had gotten excited about something. I wish Mr. Terupt hadn't trusted us so much. Maybe it was because he was a first-year teacher and didn't know better, but I don't think that was it. I think it was a case of Mr. Terupt being a special teacher. Alright, so that is where we're going to stop today. Remember to complete your exit ticket. I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.